I'm so honored to be your interviewer for today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us at the Leadership Conference.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited, and it's always a pleasure to be around amazing women. I feel the energy. I'm really excited.
So I want us to dive into that pivoting because, life happens, and being open and flexible, this is a skill to be able to pivot and still be successful. So with pivoting, with everything that's been happening over the years, what has been a challenge, and what has been what have you learned from that experience?
Honestly, I thank you so much for that question, because I think, but pre-COVID and pre-pandemic, it just felt like, you can kind of make these moves and these steps and you have these aspirations. But as we know, 2020 was a verb, and we had to learn how to pivot and live differently. And so I actually wrote an article for Fairy God Boss about my first dream day at work, like pulling out of the garage and going to my office. And that changed over time. And so my first full-time role was at Udacity, marketing communications, and then pivoted to more in the product marketing space. And after about a year, tech layoffs started happening. So I pivoted with that and had to take a contractual role at an HR tech company called Lever. And, finally, another 7 months later, I got a job in 2023, April 1st to be exact, almost a year ago, at an amazing two-sided marketplace called Catalent Technologies out of Boston. I was thrilled. I felt like, okay, I finally kind of landed in that space. 2 months later, layoffs. And it was tough. It was like, wow, what is happening, right? What I learned during that time is that I needed to go back to my first strategy that I did when I was a stay-at-home mom, which was to keep my digital footprint, to make sure that I still wrote, that I still talked about marketing, that I still enjoyed it, that I took on freelancing projects and consulting projects on the side that helped me still stay relevant. I created a website called myproductstory.co that talked about all things marketing and product marketing that I had a day job I would love to be able to implement for a company. Because of that helped me kind of get recruited for different contractual roles. And so that's what landed me my latest role for actually CVS Health as a contractor in product marketing. And so to answer your question about pivots, first, I loved what Nada said about the importance of taking care of your beings, the wellness piece. I think we don't talk enough about that after 2020. Before it was just grind, and it was cute. Now it's let's stay well, mentally, physically. Yeah. And what I realized is that in those pivot moments when things were shifting, I needed to still stay well. I needed to be intentional about staying well and staying at peace, keeping great people around me, still attending conferences, still networking, still upskilling, and also being okay with the in-between time, putting on my jogging suit and sneakers or flip-flops and just going for a walk, caring for myself, enjoying my children. I had the most phenomenal year during those kind of contractual in-between roles with my children, which are my priority, and to making sure that I leaned into them, taking my daughter to golf, taking my other daughter to dance. And so I say all that to say that pivoting does not always mean like a dancer, how a dancer is immediately pivoting. Sometimes the pivot means that you're pausing, you're regrouping, and you're caring for yourself, because getting mass rejections when you're applying for roles can be hard.